follow sport icons.
So James DeGale was over there in America, and of course he was fighting on the Brandon Figueroa versus Oscar Escandon undercard, which was originally meant to be Victor Ortiz versus John Molina Jr., but because Victor Ortiz got questioned over some rape allegations, that main event was pulled and replaced by Brandon Figueroa. But either way, James DeGale, he takes on FIDEL Monterrosa Munoz, who had a record of 39 wins and 18 losses, one draw. Journeyman, that's for sure. Out of James DeGale's league, for sure. James DeGale supposed to stop him? Yep. And that's exactly what he done. And he stopped him in 3 rounds with a vicious left uppercut. Now, why was this fight happening? This is purely because James DeGale, he's had a little bit of time off. Obviously, he had his shoulder surgery. He came back. He took on Caleb Truax. He lost here in the UK. He then rematched him over there in the States, won by unanimous decision. And of course, he's been out of the ring for 5 months. And he's got a huge fight coming up in December, which I told you guys about before a couple of weeks back there, that it will be Chris Eubank Jr. Unless, of course, something happens between now and then. But ultimately, it's supposed to be Chris Eubank Jr. So he takes on this fight as a bit of a tune-up and, of course, get a little bit more cash. Since he got his title back from Caleb Truax, he's since vacated it. He didn't want that title anymore because it meant that he had to defend it against Jose Uzcategui. I think I said it wrong. Anyway, and he didn't want that fight because it wasn't enough money, and of course it's a high risk, which is a high risk, especially as that guy, he blitzed out Durrell in his last fight, the fight before that. So it's definitely high risk, very, very low reward. But or at least that's one of the rumours that why he didn't do it. So anyway, he takes on Munoz, and he stops him in 3 rounds, which is quite unusual for James DeGale, to be fair, because James DeGale, out of his 25 wins, he does have 15 knockouts, but he hasn't exactly been doing that as of late. I mean, he's gone quite some time. In fact, the last time he actually stopped somebody was in 2014, which is Perbian. And since then, he's gone the distance each and every time. So it's good to see him back and actually stopping opponents. He did actually release after this fight as well that it wasn't just his shoulder. In fact, he's been nursing an Achilles problem for quite some time, and he's actually addressed it, so now he can bounce around a little bit. So that's what made him more dangerous. But ultimately, I think even with an Achilles problem, he would have stopped Munoz anyway. But anyway, so I'm just getting that news out there for you all, just to give you guys a reminder that James DeGale did actually fight over there in America, and also Joe Joyce on the undercard, and Cody Davis from here in the UK is also on this undercard as well. So very, very good undercard, to be fair. So anyway, James DeGale, he makes a brief return as a contender because he obviously gave up his IBF, and now he's out again in December. But who's going to promote it? Frank Warren doesn't seem to know anything about it. Eddie Hearn says he doesn't know anything about it, so who knows? Maybe it'll be a Showtime event, as James DeGale is part of Al Heyman still, I believe, or he was. Then he went to Frank Warren. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, Chris Eubank Jr., of course, he trains at the Money Team with Floyd Mayweather, so makes sense to be over in America. But ultimately, it could be here in the UK on ITV, or who knows? Who knows? So anyway, congratulations to James DeGale. He stops FIDEL Monterrosa Munoz in 3 rounds. You drop your thoughts below, click that thumbs up and subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.